So we're now in week 4 of the course. I know that for some of you, the first 3 weeks were difficult, but you can be proud of what you have achieved so far. Almost everyone has completed the week 1 homework on Roman numerals, even though it wasn't mandatory. And a lot of you have already completed all the homeworks for week 3. So that's a great achievement, and I see you're submitting homework at all times of day and night, and this is very exciting to see. So, this being said, what are we going to look at this week? Well, the first thing that's important that we'll see this week is how to do the projects. What is expected from you, how to submit them, how they will work, how to organize yourself, and things like that. So among other things, I want you to set up a profile on the wiki detailing your skills, your interests, your times where you can meet, which year you are, and so on and so on. So you'll see explanations separately a bit later. So that's for all preparing the projects, but what about the material? Well, the first thing we'll see is a new container type. So in the previous week, we saw lists and tuples, and now we'll learn about dicts. So dicts or dictionaries in Python are very important. They're very useful, but they're also used extensively behind the scenes. And once you know what a dict is, actually a whole lot of stuff feels much more natural in Python. So I've delayed the explanation of all those other stuff up until now, and now that I have explained, or I will explain what dicts are, I can start explaining those other aspects of Python. So the first one is functions. So we'll see how to construct a function in Python, how to document it, and how to pass arguments to it, and how to use default arguments. So it's not obvious how this depends on dicts, but you will see that behind the scenes, Python uses lists and dicts to handle that. Another aspect is arguments. So how to pass arguments to Python scripts. We saw in the previous week that we don't always want to use the interpreter or in the interactive mode. Sometimes we want to use the command line and just run some Python program from the command line. That's fine, but you still want to pass parameters sometimes to your program, and that's what the command line arguments allow you to do. So we'll see how that works. We'll also see the concept of none. So what is none and how is it used in Python? Another concept we'll see is scopes and frames. So that's basically has to do with how Python handles all the different names that it knows about, all the different objects that it knows about. How does it keep track of all that? And you'll see that behind the scenes, Python uses dicts for that. And finally, we'll learn about debugging and a specific tool for debugging called PDB. So PDB brings back some interactivity that we lost last week. If you remember, in the first 2 weeks, we were using completely interactively Python. We were entering one command at a time. And in week 3, we learned that this was not the most efficient way to do things because we want to write full programs that we then execute from the command line. That's still true, but sometimes there are problems with those programs, and that's where PDB comes in. So if you inject PDB at the right place, then you can start interacting again with your program much more finely and much more accurately. Okay, so this is the program for week 4, so why don't we get started?